The Untended Graves. I do not know what this place is. I found it by killing a mad king who thought he was a dragon and falling out of a hole. That's the high wall of Lothric up there. It's dark. Very dark. This is particularly surprising since the sky was practically on fire before. Win victory. The Phantom Win Victory wants to be summoned, but I think not. Shriving Stones. Coffins. Slab-like coffins. I've seen something like that before. Was this a grave as well? I crawled out of a grave like that not too long ago. Becoming unkindled, undead. And there was a bowl like this. And this is where I found... That was where I found the Ashen Estus flask. What on earth? Whoa, Corvians. This looks a lot like the Cemetery of Ash. Birds in the dark. So what is this place? What is this place and why does it look a lot like another place? I'm sure Win Victory would like to help me. Great Corvian Scythe. I don't think I've seen one of those weapons before. Yeah, I've got a Great Scythe, but not a Great Corvian Scythe. The Forlorn Souls guarded by heretical storytellers. The mistress of the painted world is said to wield a great scythe herself. Yes, I've met her. Heretical storytellers means basically dark priests, right? So is this some kind of dark reflection of the Cemetery of Ash? I do not get it. Not yet anyway. Ashen Estus Ring. I assume that's like the Estus Ring, but for the Ashen Flask. Once a treasure brought before Lothric's queen, she had it enshrined in the Cemetery of Untended Graves, so that one day an unkindled might profit from its use. Huh. The Queen of Lothric has been mentioned a few times before. It's interesting. We've heard about Prince Lothric, repeatedly, who needs to be made a lord. And we've heard about... oh, what's that? Queen Lothric. But the only time a High King Lothric was mentioned was on the Cinder Throne. And I reckon that's aspirational. That's there in the hope that this Prince Lothric becomes Lord of Cinder. Oh, I hear stuff. More monsters in the darkness. This place seems pretty spooky. Oh, although it's just one of these. Yeah, it's even kind of similar monsters to the Cemetery of Ash. And I think it's just the same layout as well. That would lead out of it. There should be a tunnel filled with water around here somewhere. So why... what is this place and how does it relate to the other place? Yeah. I know I've said that before, sorry, I'm not making a lot of sense here or playing well. I think, I think I've started playing too late at night after too long a day of talking, so don't expect particularly amazing commentary or particularly skillful play. But I'm going to keep going because the mystery of this and the atmosphere is pretty excellent. I really want to know what's going on, and it feels right for a late night, long day thing. Where did I leave those souls? This guy is like... Where have I seen people with those two swords before? Maybe nowhere. A large shard. This is where I died. Titanite chunks. Very good things to have. I think the guy killed the dog. Whoops. Oh, I know. The Catacombs of Carthus has people like this in it. But more skeletal, basically. Grave Warden Wrap. It is funny how you go through the stuff you pick up to learn where you are. Grave Warden Robe. But that's not what else I want. A Grave Warden Wrap. Is it a head thing? Huh. Oh, I'm being Dark Moon summoned. Can't actually find the Grave Warden right here. It is. Tasked with disposing of the rising corpses that plagued the Cathedral of the Deep. Interesting. So is this place connected to the cathedral? All of Lothric is, I think. Seem to revolve around it. Okay, so presumably there's some PvP going on here. Let's see who's being invaded. Aha! The Mound Maker. What an asshole. Mad Hollow. Time to cut him. Looks like he shouldn't have invaded an adherent of the Way of Blue. Heck yes. I really like Dark Moon. I like being summoned to help people who are being invaded. I wasn't such a big fan of the way it worked in Dark Souls 1, because in Dark Souls 1 it was all about punishing the enemies of the gods, and I was an enemy of the gods, basically, so... Dogs. Souls. More dogs here, I think. Including a big one. Maybe I should be using a shield here. This place seems shield-y, but I don't know. I've been liking rolling so far. It's just these particular kinds of enemies are definitely the kind that's easiest to deal with when blocking. We'll see. Whoa. I see shadows passing before a great crystal. There we are. Crystal lizards for the big kind. This is what happens if you let one of them grow up. This is why it's so important to kill everyone you see very quickly. Ah, I don't really want to fight in the water. Ouch. Got him. Chunks and scales. It's certainly a profitable set of untended graves. There was an area just like this in the real Cemetery of Ash with a single crystal lizard in it. And that one dropped one scale, so here you get 4 times as many. Presumably that's a measurement of how much more hardcore this darkened version is. Specifically 4 times. So, what does it mean that it's all dark like this, and why are the two at the same place? In Bloodborne, you had the Hunter's Dream, and the real-world area which had inspired it, and I think all of the nightmares and dreams there came from the real world. Is this place a reflection of the cemetery and a Firelink Shrine? In some way, or is it the other way around? Or is it the same place at a different time? Because timeline overlap has always been kind of a thing of this setting. It's a good excuse for nothing making sense, but also I think it is an actual deliberate plot point. If one of these places is real and the other is, I don't know, in some way a projection, then I've got to say there's points in both directions. This version, I reached through a kind of illusionary wall in a hidden garden, and, you know, it kind of doesn't make a lot of sense as a location, except geographically it does, now that I think about it. You come out the high wall of Lothric, you're ejected from the castle, effectively going through the rotten garden, and these are the graves from where people end up after being funneled through that whole system. That would make sense. But the other set of Cemetery of Ashes, yeah, it is connected to the high wall, and it's the only thing on this side. Whereas the other version, you don't ever travel. Daughter of Crystal Creamhild. Who's that? You don't ever physically travel from Firelink Shrine to the High Wall of Lothric. The rest of the game is connected to Lothric Castle, right? Like you fly out of it, but you're still physically traveling, and the rest of it is all visible right there. But Firelink Shrine is detached, and you can't see, I think, the rest of the game from it. Could this be the real version? That's not enough, really, to explain it, because why would it be in darkness? Whoa. Daughter of Crystal Creamhild is, quite tough. Ouch. I might just run away a little. Almost fell off the cliff there. Man. I've got to remember this weapon isn't an Ushi Katana. It doesn't have a really good roll attack like the Ushi does. I keep pressing like BR1 in the expectation that that will do something cool, and then it doesn't. Ouch. What it does have is high single damage attacks, so that's what I've got to use it for. Like that, and that. Can't parry that either. We both retreat to Estus. It's just like real PvP. Oh. Ah, she's out of Estus. I really like that, like the actual attempt to use it and the failure. That's very kind of realistic. The NPC hasn't noticed. Got him. So who is Daughter of Crystal Creamhild? I don't know. Osiros, the consumed king who guarded this region, thought he had a daughter. He had like a fake baby. Haha, that's right, there's a bonfire here back in the real world? Or is it the real world? I don't know. Back in the other world. Also, wasn't there a path down there? No, I guess there wasn't. There were hollows here, though, that's for real. I should really go back to Firelink Shrine and look at the layout and how it connects or doesn't connect to Lothric, and try and work out, is that a reflection of this place? But why would there be something like that? Ah! Just as I heal, I get hit, of course. Ooh, I see summon signs here. So presumably where Udex Gundir is, there is a boss in the Untended Graves also. Oh shit! These guys are a little more powerful than their usual equivalents, and there are many more of them. But that's why I like the Hollow Slayer Greatsword. Did you see that? That was pretty good. We got slayed. Pillage. Thank you. No something ahead, pointless ahead. I guess I'll take their word for it. Yeah, I don't see anything down there. Just a guy with a bow. Ah, got me. It is a slow weapon. I'll have to be careful if I do a boss fight with it. And it seems like one of those is about to happen. Alright, let's get this bow guy. Ah! I'm really making a lot of mistakes today. It's cool though. I mean, not cool, but it's okay. I'm okay with it. I've accepted the situation. Swordmaster. Wait, is that the guy from Firelink Shrine? With the Ushigatana? Looks like it. I'll see if the sign vanishes in a sec to see if it's a human cosplaying as him. Bjorkalund. I am surprised if there's an NPC here. I wouldn't have thought there would be, because this place seems secret, hidden away. Hawkwood could have followed me, but no one else, surely. Dosukoi, Chenny, Valkyrie, Swordmaster. Yeah, it might be an actual NPC, but I don't need no summons. Well, that looks familiar.